Yo, so welcome to another video. A little bit different this video. I know it's focusing on Warzone again, but it is how to get better at Warzone. If you're asking where I get my credentials from to do a video like this, let me just let you know. For Warzone specifically, I've won multiple tournaments for thousands and thousands of pounds across the last year and a half or so of Warzone. I've competed against the best of the best. I've played in some of the tournaments against them, and invitationals as well, and I still play sometimes now in tournaments. 3.4 KD on Rebirth, 2.6 on Caldera, and I've had like kill records in the past as well. Um, Outside of Warzone as well, I played at quite a few semi-pro levels on a few different titles, mainly Overwatch. I played in a lot of GM scrims and tournaments like Tier 3 level. And CSGO, I played a lot of ESA and Faceit leagues, and some of the tournaments on there as well. And in COD's multiplayer, a lot of the online tournaments over sort of the last few years, and you know, I've played since like 2011, like competitive COD, so I've got a long history of that, playing against a lot of like top 8 EU teams, you know, the Sunny Bees and that kind of thing of the time, if you're familiar with him. A lot of those sort of guys back in the day, and up until now, you know, as LANs are coming back online, had plans to attend a lot of the LANs, and I wish I could have gone, but you know, there's some of my credentials anyway for what it is. So the first thing I do want to add onto this video before we get started in with the tips for actually improving at the game is making sure that your game is running as best as it can. So I'm going to leave a link to a video. If you look in the top right, there'll be a card to take you to a video that'll improve your FPS and your smoothness on the game, increase the visibility a little bit, especially for Caldera with this new update to the lightbox changes. It really is a cornerstone of improving at the game, making sure that your equipment is running at its highest potential, and that video should give you some tips on that. So I'll leave a card to that in the top right if you want to go check that out, and I'd recommend it. But yeah, let's get into some of the actual tips that I'm going to give you now in today's video. Really quick, I just want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. If you aren't already, hit that big red button down below and click the bell icon just so you don't miss any of my uploads. Okay, back to the video. So there is three parts to this video, essentially. The first one is going to be looking at movement in Warzone and understanding movement. The second one is going to be situational awareness and game sense. And the third is research and VOD review. And we'll go into more detail on each of them now. If you want to skip through the video, that's okay, but I would recommend sticking through and watching all of it, and we'll give you some really good advice on how to get better at Warzone. So, understanding movement. In Warzone or any battle royale with strong movement mechanic emphasis, the key to actually improving is becoming comfortable with your character and the environment around you. So like everyone with enough practice can learn how to aim or have super quick reaction flicks, especially on mouse and keyboard, but not everyone can combine that well practice aim with like efficient movement. In games like CSGO or Valorant, they teach you this lesson. They teach you the intricate timings of the moving and the shooting, and how to effectively traverse the small maps that you do play on those games. With Warzone, you're kind of blessed, really. I mean, you've got such a large-scale map, so many advantages to take advantage of, so many opportunities, sorry, to take advantage of. What you need to really be doing with movement, for starters, is just practicing being on the map and running around the map. And that sounds dumb, but understand the geometry of the map. Understand what you can jump to and what you can't jump to. Understand the timings of how your gun ADS is, for example, with the STG. If you know you're about to pick a corridor, figure out what the jump timing is, so when you press jump and when you ADS, and how you can be ADSing as you're jumping, and how you land and you're perfectly ADS'd ready to go. Learn the little timings of things like that. Learn where you can do jump spots in Windows, especially on Rebirth. Another important one is bunny hopping, which sounds dumb, but learning the timings of a bunny hop can be really big, because when you're flying at someone, the last thing they expect them to do, I mean before the stims obviously now, which we'll get onto in a minute, but the timings of people, you know, challing, like not everyone is used to that B hop speed going across their screen. Everyone knows what the stim sliding speed is now. Everyone knows what the normal sliding speed is. Everyone knows what the running speed is past them. But the B hop is such a elusive mechanic that if you can get that timing right for a chal on someone, 9 times out of 10, I think you're getting that kill if you hit your shots. You know, you can be so fast and so unpredictable the way you move that it's crazy. So I did just mention stim sliding there, by the way, but stim slides are still king. As they're slowly getting phased out, I guess, with tournaments banning them now, they are still really popular for pub players. So if you're watching this video and you're a competitive player, just be aware that stims are slowly losing favorability in these tournaments. If you are looking just to improve overall at Warzone, then let's get into it. So the stims, if you don't already know, they give you a short but like rapid change of pace, and combining that with a really awkward slide into someone or just past them gives you a massive advantage in that gunfight. You appear on one side of them, you camera them. The desync in this game is horrendous, so you can be past them on your screen, and on theirs, you know, you're stood in front of them, and you can just get free shots into the back. What's really good about the stims is that they are, because they heal you as well, when you're in a 1v sort of X situation, more often than not, one effective and efficient stim slide can almost guarantee you one free down before anyone else has the chance to even think about reacting to you. So Put your stims on, try them out. What you want to do is you want to stim, and then you want to just slide straight after, and you get, I think you get about 2 slides worth of stims, unless it's changed a little bit, and the timings might be a bit different now, but you get 1 guaranteed stim with absolute pace. You use it into someone, stim into them, slide into them, or slide just past them, and you can have that efficient sort of instant gunfight that you should win. Now, the second big thing is situational awareness and game sense. This is really important for something like Warzone. I'm going to talk about games that have 1 life, the sort of search and destroy type, elimination, single life elimination, like Valorant or CSGO. With Warzone, it is very similar, where if you don't have Gulag, or, if Rebirth, you're not coming back on Rebirth anymore, 1 life is so important. But it's so important before that, overall, just to know when to play your life. So here's some of my advice for situational awareness and game sense. It is all completely mental. It doesn't matter what game you are playing, it all applies, it translates everywhere, and we'll get onto that a little bit later. Anything competitively, any game that's competitive, gives you that game sense, and it translates for every other game. Competitive COD can give you that, Valorant can give you that, CSGO can give you that. It's like combining all different cultures and communities into one, and having that knowledge yourself. So like I said in my credentials at the start of the video, like I've played competitive COD, I've played competitive Overwatch, CSGO, everything like that. You combine all of that knowledge into one, and it improves your ability in those games as well. A good example of that might be something like ninja defusing, for example. Ninja defusing used to be a really popular thing in Call of Duty, and that translated heavily into the CSGO community now, where ninja defusers became a lot more popular as the game blew up on CSGO. In CS Source, it wasn't really a thing that people did all that much, and in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, with COD popularity coming up, it became a lot more apparent. So, continuing on with situational awareness and game sense, you could argue that some of those games are mouse and keyboard, and it doesn't translate exactly with controller gameplay or whatever. But like I said, it is all mental. All high-level pro players on any game will be able to transfer their skills onto any other. For example, if you watch competitive COD, you know that Dashi is a really strong player at COD, but he's also Radiant on Valorant. And it translates a lot of ways with a lot of people from different games. A lot of CSGO pros, Valorant pros, Overwatch pros can all translate to different games. And in fact, a lot of them have come from different backgrounds. And it works the same with COD and Warzone. You can bring that knowledge into Warzone from other games, and it all works the same. Although there are slightly different games, you're on mouse and keyboard potentially, and controller on another, that mental knowledge of situations, in 1v4s, 1v3s, whatever, and how to rotate the maps as well. Warzone is a battle royale, and on its own it is very different. But when I say rotate the map, I don't mean how you rotate through the map throughout the game, because that's a completely different topic. What I mean is how you rotate in a situation. If you know that you're up against multiple people, or if you know you're in a challenge that you can't face fairly, how can you adjust the way you play to fit into that position, and how can you, rotate in that moment to make it better for yourself? And you pick that up from different games. So understanding movement was the first one. Situational awareness and game sense is the second. They are 2 really important things that you can pick up on super easy and put into practice yourself. What I would recommend doing is going and trying it out. If you are in that position where you don't know, how you're supposed to improve at it for your situational awareness, what I recommend doing is going into it when you play Warzone. If you know you're in a position where you are going to lose a gunfight, for example, just try and just fly at people, run at people, dive at people, whatever you need to do. If you are sat in a house with your loadout, comfortable, cushy, not doing anything, you aren't learning anything. You are sat doing nothing. The best thing to do is to try. Doing is trying, and trying is learning. Fly in possible situations and learn the limitations of you, yourself, and the situations. You can't win every gunfight, you can't win every chow, but if you practice and try, you'll learn when you can and when you can't, and you'll figure out in your head the percentage chance of you getting away with it. And you only learn that by doing it. So I recommend just going out and giving it a try. Now, thirdly and finally is research and VOD review. And again, it's one of those that sounds really simple, and I say, oh yeah, people always watch streams and always watch videos and stuff. That's not what I mean. You need to figure out what these best players in the game actually do. What some of the best players actually do. What do they do? Find out. Watch them. Pick up on the way they rotate through the map. And when I say rotate this time, I mean how do they rotate through the map on Caldera, for example. Where do they go? What do they do? What are the timings of what they do? And again, how they handle the situations up close. How do they rotate in the situations that are close? How do they position themselves and get themselves into positions that favour them? Figure out what guns they're using. Now, I'll leave a link to a card in the top right where you can go and watch a video on some of the meta guns. But what guns are they using? They'll be the top guns right now that you should be using. And figure out what you're doing wrong when you compare yourselves to them, If they're running around the map and they're not even killing people, but you just know that they're playing better, they're playing smarter. on the map and they're in a better position, watch it back, see what they did. It's not always about gun skill. That's the most important thing to learn with Warzone, or any other game really. Everyone can learn to shoot, everyone can learn to aim, but not everyone can learn how to appropriately use everything in combination together. And that is the most important thing to improving. There are a couple of people that I'd recommend you go and watch. From EU specifically, go watch Lennon, go watch FIFA Kill, Abwiz, or Louis CM. And from NA, watch people like Scumman. Scumman at the minute is in absolute fine form. Make sure you watch some of the TBE guys, Tommy and that lot. And Aiden as well. Make sure you watch Aiden. A lot of these guys do the same things, similar things. They're all tournament winners, they're all big time winners, and they're all really good. They've all got really good aim, yeah, but they're all really smart people as well in the game, and they know what they need to do to win out. So yeah, make sure you go and learn from them. And while you're at it, make sure to check out the video to improve your FPS and smoothness in Warzone. Like I said, make sure you give yourself the best advantage possible to go out there and improve at the game. And that is about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like and a comment down below what you thought of it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.